that I'm missing. Stop. There we go. There it is. Good morning. My name is Simon. I'm with Trade and Perform Coaching. This is the really just a trade session. Isn't even the preview for Monday, June 3rd. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I'm basically sharing my trade plan with you in hopes that it'll help you become a better trader. But my trade plan is not suitable or even mentally feasible for a lot of people, right? So take what you like, leave the rest. You can lose a lot of money trading futures. I do take stops, and I do have to trade out of the hole occasionally, right? So anyone looking for perfection should head elsewhere. Anyone who's looking for a way to make money, you're probably in the right place, right? But part of day trading is losing money, and that's just the deal. So I'm going to jump right in. I've already posted the levels, and actually I want to start with the oil setup from this morning. Is the video audio good, guys? Zach, are we cool? Mic check, anybody? Oh yeah, we're good to go. Okay, cool. So I wanted to go through the setup. So the setup actually came off the 15 range on CL this morning. And I was obviously up and a bit of a night owl last night. But if you look, so this is what I drew out. I posted it on the chart. So I started hunting this. So first of all, we're down a lotta, right? Not just a little bit, a lotta, right? So the first thing I'm looking at when I get up at 2:30 this morning was chart, duplicate chart, because I can't move this one. Is I notice, hey, we've gone right down into an anomaly through those blue levels, right? And we're in support, right? So by the time I get into the office, it's right over here. This is about when I woke up, okay? So underneath prior day's low, right? But sitting above that anomaly, it's already been tested, and we're really making higher highs and higher lows. See how we really can't break this swing from Asia over here? This is right before London Open, and they just didn't have anything on the downside there, right? And I was generally already bullish coming into the day outside of the gap down, right? And if you look, right, so translate that. So I drag this over here. That's step one. Put it back so I can see it easily. Okay, so step two comes with a 15 range chart, which I don't. There it is. Okay, I already moved it up. Okay, so see how I'm going to rebuild it again so you can see this, right? Shift down, shift down, shift down. First thing that has my attention, we can't get above the shifts down, right? So this is into Sunday evening. I'm not even screwing with it there. But first of all, notice the higher highs and higher lows all the way through into 3 in the morning, right? See the cup and handle that's forming here? See that bowl? See the handle? Right? So that's the other piece that I see. I normally don't point that out, but that's what I was looking at. Number two, the higher highs, the higher lows. So we're above the last shift down, and this is my last measure. So there's two waves. This is my last little teeny push. And if I had been around and thinking through, I really would have liked to have been long right there, right? So next we've had a breakout. So the next thing I'm going to expect is some measurable 50-60. And if you'll look, we couldn't make it back to the 50-60. When you can't make it back to the 50-60, it's a sign that we're starting to trend, right? Next, you'll notice that we had some divergences. We were pushing into the low. We had a fractal trend line break over here to the left. This is a high time frame. Remember that. For me, at least, it is, right? Fractal trend line break, right? So, in addition, I have a new fractal trend line, and it really isn't broken. I guess you could have called it here, but and we did get behind the last shift up over here, but that was in Asia. But ever since London, it just really never went anywhere after it broke that fractal trend line. And if you keep extending that out, it just kind of ended up looking like this. This is where I'm loading up on this trade, right? And you'll see the pushes down just have no oomph to them. And then the last piece I'm looking at is, I go, okay, this was really my last big wave down. This is where they last put in significant amount of pressure, right? So that puts this as the high, at least for me, okay? It's really not much debate there. We could draw sticks and say this was the last wave, but I'm going with this as the last measurable wave, right? So you'll notice, so what I did in here was I was kind of guessing. When we were pushing in here, I was working off the 7 range. I'll show it to you in a second. But I know that if I close above this, so this is the first attempt above, no positive bar with a point of control above. This is the first close with the first point of control above. Really, I could have just waited for 53.20 and just killed it. It'd have been a 100-tick trade with no heat. Instead, what I did was I came down to this chart over here. Yes, I'm going to leave this over here so we can reference back, right? So I already know that we're forming that cup and handle, and we had that push. Now when I'm over here at 3 in the morning, now I'm looking, I see we have this push down, so we've come off the bottom, right? We have this push down, right? And then we have this push down, and this push down tried to break the push down to the left, but see how they created a spring and trapped back in? And this is where I'm looking to get set up. And what I'm noticing is when I roll downstairs, the first thing I see is like, hey, we've gotten above my last shove down, right? So I'm limiting right here. To right here. And this is where I'm building in on this position, right? Why? I've had MACD divergence into the lows, delta divergence into the lows, and absolutely no ability to push to the downside. You'll see this last push came off the top, right? And I'm getting these shifts down. And each time I'm getting behind these shifts down, I'm trying to find a way to get long, but I'm doing it a little bit differently than I normally would, right? Because normally it would be like this, long, right? And then attempt to scale. And then, so it was a little bit sloppier last night, given the conditions. It's understandable. And we were just trading behind the last shift down and pushing back up. So I was using the fractals as my stop. And I just kept loading in, and you could just see that it wanted to lift. And that there was, and then you see that see how this big wave push off right here, right? And see how they're trying to get underneath, and they just got nothing underneath it, right? You see, as soon as they get underneath, it just gets absorbed. And so I'm really pressing the long through here. And finally, see how I have those parallel, these 1, 2, 3 shifts down. They're really putting a lot of energy to breaking that trade. And I just loaded in against them. They couldn't break these 2 fractals over here. Now, here's the deal, right? If everyone looks at my post this morning, I could have easily gotten stopped. And I did not ride this all the way, by the way. I dumped right there at 53.60, pretty much 53.60 to 53.70. I was all out of this trade. Okay, so I kicked it early. It obviously kept running, and I could have taken another, really looks like another 100 ticks were available to me. So you could argue that I goofed it. I want to show you the parallel side of this trade, and that's in gold, right? So if you look at gold over here, I was hunting it for a roll. Oh, let's switch these. And the reason why I'm talking about this is I'm not talking about a specific trade. I'm talking about how I want to attack. I attacked gold this morning. I just didn't get paid because I got stopped, right? But here's the deal. I was taking on CL about 12, 13 tick stops to set up on those pushes down against the trade, assuming we were going to break. And then I added on the 53.20 break. I essentially doubled the position there, even though I came all out of it at 54.60. I was trading 2 different strategies simultaneously. So what I was trying to get done over here, which I didn't do very successfully, so seeing this series of ups, we just can't get behind the last shift up. They just won't this is the last place we did it, right here, and then it pushed, right? So I know that if I can get behind my last shift up, we couldn't get behind this one, but when we got behind this one over here, when the point of control got underneath, I thought I could get aggressive over here, but this is what I was risking. If I get the roll right in that trade, and we just test 1300, which was the last swing up, the base of the last swing up from Friday. I end up with a 20-point trade for 10 ticks worth of risk, right? 20 points, 20 times 10. That's 2,000 ticks. Is that right? 10 times, I believe that's correct. That was the RR that I was looking for, so I wasn't scaling. I get stopped here the first time in. And again, remember, I'm just starting to pick up gold again. And what I really want to do is wait till I get underneath a wave of any sort. And you see I can't do it till over here. If I just waited to get underneath my last push, I'd have been a lot better off. But I was looking for this push to the downside and then break the wave, and I was trying to anticipate it. If I went back and I'm taking notes on how I want to trade it better, right, I probably simply want to wait. If I go back to the last time it rolled over, right, so we can look over here for the last time it pushed over. And if you look, so here's the wave. It didn't break this wave to the end. Then I get this little wave right over here, this four jobber right here, right? I get my last 4 wave, shift up, shift underneath, and then I have to break this right here, right? So here's close number 1 underneath. Here's close number 2 underneath. That extends. One more backside test, and if you look, as it pushed through, eventually, right, eventually it rolled through with the trade all the way down to 1280 from your entries were up here at 1286, right? But if you look at this entry right here behind the last shift up, when we closed underneath this last shift up, my total risk is 1288. If I use the top of the bar, it's 10. If I use the point of control, which is the appropriate control of the prior bar, which I think is actually the appropriate stop, I have about 13 ticks of risk in exchange for a lot of points to roll to the downside. And here's how I want to manage it on gold. When I get this underneath, I want to short back up in against this point of control right here. I want to short back into that, right? So that I can, see how we pushed right into it and rejected? So as my stop gets smaller and smaller and smaller, I can increase my size bigger and bigger and bigger. So if I do get the break, I'm then leveraged for the push to the downside. And if I do get stopped, it's a small stop. You've got to be damn sure that that is the trade you are looking for and hunting while you're trading, or you've got to make sure you've got the structure down on where you're looking. So when we were up here this morning, the other reason why I took the trade the second time, even though I got stopped, which was fine. So I'm still small size-wise in GC. But if you look at the 5-minute chart, right up into resistance, right down into support, right? Prior resistance equals support. And you'll see overnight, if you look in Asia, if you use this anomaly, which granted, I didn't have this posted until 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. But if you use that on gold as resistant, what I'm noticing in gold all over the place, it is highly respectable. It highly respects the anomalies, and it is highly structured in the way that it trades, and you can really build in. It really respects the stops to the tick. It's worth taking 10 and 12 tick stops to get the roll all the way down to the other end of the trade. For me, it truly is. Okay. So at any rate, I'll be trading gold. I'll be pulling up the levels through the course of the day. CL, I think, is going to trade both ways, but I would let them exhaust first. You can see that I have all this area here on the 5-minute chart marked off in blue, because I think all of it can get traded through pretty easily. And I think we have a two-sided trade here, not just one way up or one way down. I'm looking for exhaustion. I'm skipping the first 30, 40 minutes of the day in CL. Let them get set up, right? And then I'm not trading NQ at all today, guys. I found the trading a lot smoother in ES from Friday, a lot better. And I want to go through that last trade on Friday afternoon. So I was shorting underneath that wave, right? And this is my last short right here. And I just think so many people were short, they wouldn't let it roll, right? But this wave, when we got underneath this push up right here, where were we? Right over. If you look at this last push that came on top, right? So we were short 62, but then I was pushing over here at 53 as well. Towards the end of the day, I added, I think, 53.50, if I remember correctly, right? But if you'll look how we slipped underneath this wave, first close underneath, second close underneath. See ya. You had to be uber aggressive on that second close, and I'll do my best to mark off the first and second closes underneath those big waves. And then if you look at this wave right here, this is marked off by, this is the 53 right here. And if you look, I had to wait all the way to the end of the day. So this is the first close underneath. This is where I'm short right in here underneath this 53 53, somewhere in here. And then it finally, if you stretch this out, I believe I shorted, maybe I was shorted right in here, 53. As long as it held underneath 62, I was like, it got underneath, second close underneath. What I should have waited for was this bar right here. That would have been 5 minutes till. And I would have had a lot easier time with getting the roll to the downside. Actually, it would have been this bar or this bar. But either way, I just couldn't get the break. If you look at how that went into Sunday evening, it finally gapped. And that's what I was looking for at the end of the day, Friday. The important thing about this isn't whether I made money or lost money on the trade. Well, of course, it's important that I made money or lost money. But the important thing about this is identifying that, hey, we're underneath that push. We got another big push where they totally failed to break the swing to the left. And once they get underneath this is what you would expect to happen. I understand that I don't hold over the weekend and extended through the weekend, but that's what I was looking for, was that 10 or 20 point push. That's why I was being so stubborn on that trade. So for today, what are we looking for on ES? As we come in on the day, right? First of all, where's our last big push down? It's right over here, right? So if we go look at that wave, you can see we're pushing right into that. That was right at the close on Friday, right? In the bottom of that wave. Let's erase everything so we know where we're at. Bump, right there. Okay, so this is the backside test right now. Where I think we're pushing in right now, is my guess. Okay, the first rejection out of there without closing above. So see how it's closing in over here. Now we got one bar with the point of control above. It has to get above this and hold in order to roll higher. It makes perfect sense that we are pushing higher. I'm sorry that I missed. I really just didn't collect that short very well on gold. I had to go take my daughters to their babysitter for the day, and that was that. So at any rate, you can see that we've pushed straight up. Last push down overnight, it actually set up pretty good overnight, right? See here on the base, see how we had this last push right here where they tried to break the low. It set the spring right there. See how they tried to get and they couldn't get the point of control underneath? There's the wave. This is the same thing we're looking for in the day session, right? Last shift down right there, close above right there, backside test. See ya. That was good for 20 points. I'm sorry I didn't take it, actually, because I was here. I could have taken it. So I didn't. So that's all right. I was focusing on CL. I thought I had 100 ticks in it. And then I got a little happy and took it at 60 ticks. I actually had 200 ticks in it. If you're not getting the bigger swings on at least one of your contracts in your trade, you're going to have a very hard time staying profitable over time and growing your P&L. You've got to hunt those areas. And I realize there's a little bit of a switch. The scalps are viable, but in the guys that I'm coaching and the ones I'm seeing their P&L jump and the ones that aren't seeing their P&L jump, you've got to pick an area where you think you can get an extension or setup that will let your trailer, where you can pay for the trade, and then hold your breath and let that trailer run, right? Doesn't mean you have to trade a lot. There's not, as everyone knows, I love scalping, and when the market's moving, I am Mr. King of Scalp. I have no problem doing it. But if you don't let some of your trades run, your P&L isn't going to grow, and the drawdowns are going to suck, right? That's just a fact of how it's breaking down for a lot of people that I'm coaching that are good traders otherwise. You've got to get in your mind, where is that trade going to come from that's going to give me that swing? Because 60 or 100 or 200 ticks in CL covers a lot of 10-tick stops in GC, right? And lets you have the flexibility that you need to operate. So that being said, on ES, biggest wave up, right off the top. You know you got to get underneath this. So to gauge your day, right, the first thing I would say is if we don't get underneath this wave right here at 27.48, there is no short in ES unless we get a bigger wave or other structure up on top. There's no point in even sitting here and trying to go, hey, I'm going to short it. It's actually straight up stupid, right? Because that wave is going to be defended. There's a lot of buying in there. Now, on the other hand, pay attention. Second close underneath this, right? And look for a push to the downside, right? But I'm certainly not ready to short ES. 27.62, 63 got tested repeatedly in Friday's session. I would expect that we're going to push up into that area. And I'm just pretty chill this morning. on what I'm looking for. I really think your target up is 27.72 is your first target up. The upside, we've obviously gapped. It's hard for me to want to get aggressively long here when 27.33 set up pretty much perfectly, right? I realize it was in the middle of the night, but I don't want to start fighting with all the retail traders to make that trade work. Let's let them exhaust themselves and then come back in and smash it on the other side. Okay. So that's my 2 cents on CL. Let's go chart it out really quick. Last push up. Look familiar? Last shift up. Invitation to short underneath, right? Again, if you can read the chart so that you can say, hey, if we don't get above this point, I can short and push this against it. This ends up being a 12-cent stop for a beautiful roll back to the downside. And 54 is support here, I can tell you, because 54.10 to 54 was tested over and over on the break earlier. I sat there and watched it, right? It kept rejecting, kept rejecting, kept rejecting, bye-bye. So now we're coming back to backside test that. Oh, wait, excuse me. I stand corrected. That's a lie. 53.10 to 53. Sorry, I ADD'd that, right? So it actually has quite a bit of room back to the downside. So I'm looking for the same thing on the bottom as we got over here, right? Intraday. I'm looking for first some possible MACD divergence, some pushes down. I want to get above my biggest wave to the downside, right? Here, let me reset this. Get above the biggest wave to the downside. Let's get this set. Right. So here's my last wave to the downside. Oh, it's moving fast. Close above, little backside test and push. Back up to the last shift up. Is that what that is? Yes, it is. Where we rejected. And now we're kind of doing this little dance. I think if you let it settle out for a little bit, it'll probably give us a clear setup after 9 o'clock, is my guess. Right. So I don't have anything else to add for the day. Did I miss anything, guys? Does anyone need me to cover something that I didn't? I would like to short gold. I really, really would. And if it'll give me a backside test, I just missed my entry. I'd be willing to short this backside test. Right there. Stop on top, entry on bottom. So if I can get close to 13.19.20, 13.19.10, I already missed it because I was yapping. I'll try to put that in. Technically your stop should be this point of control right here. That 13.21. I'm not going to. That's 13.19 for 13.21. 13.19, 13.20. I'm not going to do more than 12 ticks on this trade. So hopefully it gives me an opportunity to come back up and test, or I'll just wait for the next setup. One of the two. And the biggest wave, big heads up, right? Go ahead and write it in your notes. If we get underneath this wave right here, guys, we should find an extension to the downside. This right here lines up with this right here. That 13.12. I will look for the first close underneath, then the second close underneath. Second close underneath, I will probably establish a half size, larger stop position for a roll to the downside. Gold's gone a long way really, really quick, and I'm looking for to see if I can't bring it back in on a retracement. So that's all I got. And I got stopped up there on top. 13.23 was my stop, and you can see they just didn't want to let it go. The stop was literally right there. So that sucks. But I was using these speed bars, and I was using this shift down earlier, and it just didn't go. So can't cry about that. You take your shots, and then you pause if it's not working or you don't have the read right. I also could have waited to add to that. I could have simply waited for this and would have been better off. So please don't forget your fractal trend line breaks, because then that gets me short right here, and I'm paid, right? So on all my trades, I'm looking for entry, exit, stop, and improvement on how I can do it better the next time. And I am not going to try to take trades just because I think I got a point or two in them. I'm going to try to take trades and focus the setups on where I can get the swings out of my trailers. Okay, so if you need a scalp, or you have a location, or you think the base is good for 2 points and you want it, go for it. The market's moving, I want the swings. If the market's not moving, I'll take the scalps. Cool? Any questions? Floor's open. I've been up a long time. My guess is I'm not going to make it much past 12:30 today. That is my solemn guess. So let's keep our eyes and see if an ES short sets up, right? Again, watch your fractal trend lines. That's the most aggressive one right there. That's got to go. Last shift up. Right there. So I'd say you have to get underneath 27.56. Kind of gets the ball rolling, right? And until then, I think you can wait patiently, and you have no delta divert, no MACD. You have delta divergence on the last little push to the high, but you just came off a big wave. And then also remember, you have to get below the top, mid, and bottom of the wave. So this becomes pretty damn important. That 27.52 becomes pretty important. At least it would be to me. So I will probably attempt on the first close underneath this. I need to see if we have any econ at the top of the hour to make sure I don't get smacked on that. Joyce, I need to send you a video. Please send me a reminder in 2 hours. I have it. We have econ at 8. Nope. Yes, maybe. Yes. Wow, that's weird. Final manufacturing PMI at 8:45. 9 a.m. ISM manufacturing. Is that right? Today's June 3rd. Is that correct? It is. ISM manufacturing, 9 a.m. World total vehicle sales. Heads up on that. FOMC. So FOMC member Ballard speaks at 12:45 Central. All day world total vehicle sales. Okay, so this popped up on the radar. I was talking with a friend of mine who runs a fund out of Florida, and he was telling me, and I confirmed, I may have the number wrong now. But export of cars out of England dropped 89% last month. In 1 month, they just dropped 89%. So people are watching the car deal really, really closely. He said that kind of put everyone was like, whoa, like apparently they just simply were not looking for that, right? And it has a lot of people spooked apparently. So they said that's a big, big, big. And they were like, if it would have been internal country sales, you could blame it on Brexit, but it's actually exports, and everyone's scratching their head. It's just fell off a cliff, and they're worried that it's the canary in the coal mine. So those are all high-end, expensive cars, and just demand dropped off a cliff. So as I'm building a brand new house, that's always interesting to hear. So here's that backside test into this area. I'm not going to hold into the econ, so I have to wait. But I will take this in my own trading account. I'm going to use this, meaning I'm not going to do it in the one-up trader. But that right there is going to be my stop, that 2150. So I'm going to scale in slower, and I'm going to use this fractal as my stop. So we can call it, I'll start at 1319.30 and just kind of go slow with it. $19.30 done. And again, my stop's going to be up there at 1322, right? So it's about a 3-point stop. So I'll do it on half size, so it nets out to 1.5. And then I'll tighten that down after numbers come out. And I'm not going to go more than about 1/3 size going into numbers in case we tank and they jack it, right? But if you want the most tight stop, right? It's against this shift up. But these pointed controls on the top of that fractal are pretty much all in the same place. So I can use 1321.50, and I will tighten that down. 1321.60 is the stop. And again, as I spoke to one of the people that I coached this weekend, play with your trading, right? Play it through in your mind at least. what's working, what doesn't work, what's easy, what's not easy, right? What setups work for you consistently? What do they look like, right? And then when you try something new, do it on small size so that you may have something awesome, right? But you got to be able to play with it. So either have a paper trading account, a spare trading account, something that lets you go and play with the trading and see how and learn without having to have a outcome that's dangerous to you. Does that make sense? So see how we're getting underneath here? I'm not going to short this because we're going, it's right at numbers, right? But see how this close underneath here? So this bar prints, and then if you wait a minute and you're willing to play between here and the 9 a.m. number, you actually have a decent short setup there underneath. Your entry would be 27.54. So see how that printed against this 27, let's just call it 54 against 58. 57.50 technically, right? But it's right into numbers, right? And you still have to break this wave to go anywhere. All you're doing is getting underneath the last shift. You're not breaking this wave yet anywhere close. You got to get all the way down to 27.48 to make that happen. So again, I'm just not in a rush to have that happen. And I will let this stop me out. Now, I've taken 2 stops in GC. I'm on unlimited stops. I'm only trading 10 cars. Okay, so I can trade it all day long. I can play with it as many ways as I want. Okay, because I'm not full size on that trade. And I'm literally learning. In my mind, I'm going, I am learning to trade GC. So I'm not going to kill it. There won't be any awesome P&L to be had, right? They'll just be, I'm learning, right? And if you'll stay in that mode, the trading will be easier for you. Speaking of which, people who chase this thing up today, you're probably going to have Monday's usually balance. NQ's still down 40. ES is flat. I have no idea what that means, right? That's a pretty interesting combination. Anyone else have any insight, guys, this morning? ES just clocked itself out of bed, didn't it? Oh, and I have the wrong thing over here. I have NQ up, and I don't want NQ up. I will say this. NQ is mighty ugly. And GC is doing the run for the gold. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, yeah, behind the shift up and see ya. Damn. Nice trade below the wave. First close underneath the wave. Let's mark it off. And then we'll see where we are afterwards. First close. Wrong tool. Close 1. Let's see where close 2 comes up. And I got a feeling we're not going to have anything till after this next number comes out. See how they rejected off the GC, off the top of that fractal bar right there? So it's probably going to bust it, right? So the short side is definitely the harder side on this trade right now. But see how they came right into that fractal? They're using that whole thing as support resistance, which is why my stop's behind that number, right? Instead of underneath here. That's the adjustment I'm making. And then the other adjustment I'm making is I'm assuming, right? I am assuming the trade will be harder, right? I'm assuming that trade will be harder for the short side. So even if I was trading this full size, I wouldn't go, I'd want to be full size long, half size short, net, right? If I was trading on full size positions on this, because all the momentum's to the upside. Attempt to trap back into the bottom of the wave there. Again, we have econ in 10 minutes, so, and then we'll find out what's going on. I did post the levels up on NQ, but I'm not trading it. My focus was just, it was a lot easier not even looking at it. Back to the bottom of the anomaly which, on GC, which is 1322 to 1322.60. And even on that small size, I'm going to get tagged out. I think. Not yet, but I got a feeling it's coming. Oh, the area I need to improve in the most this week, I took a lot of trades away from the anomalies on Friday. And if you were having a hard time last week, line your trades up with those anomalies. Your life will be a lot easier. See that? If you'll focus on these areas for trade entry, right, your trades will be a lot smoother. You'll be a lot happier, especially in the market where the volatility is opened up again, and I won't call it randomness, but the randomness of the moves. You have to work hard to avoid getting sucked in one way or the other. Those anomalies should be helping you massively, and I have 2 screens now dedicated to those levels. $52.75 is the big number, right? As long as we hold above $52.75, buyers have a good chance of getting a response back up on CL and getting extensions back to the upside. Okay, and I would be looking for extensions back to the upside. I don't think oil's just going to melt straight down, but I could be wrong, right? But if you look at the bigger picture on CL, which I have somewhere here, since we're on hold. Really? Okay, well, oh, there's my CL50. That is the CL15 range. I apologize. When you look at the bigger picture, sorry. All right, see how we've already made it above the last push down? That's what gave the push to the upside. So let's erase lines for a second. The mid 50 back off the low. Notice that line's right up with the top of the last wave down. Oh, no, it doesn't. Son of a gun. Oh, yeah. So the 62 lines up with the top of the last wave down. Okay. So that's the wave. There's the mid of the wave. So I would expect a backside test into this area, find responsive buyers. First time in, I'm looking for that, and hopefully divergence when we push down. And that should look like, oh, hell. Chart, duplicate chart, settings, 7. Is to load 20. That GC trade hasn't been stopped yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm cruising for a bruising on. Oh, wait. Has it? Yeah, it actually did get stopped. I'm sorry. It did. So at any rate, I will keep working that. I'm pretty sure I will find the handle on that the next couple of days, and it should produce some pretty monster trades. And if you look over here on the 7 range, right? So see how you're looking for a trade? See how we rolled off over here? Here's your trend line. Last shift up, trade underneath, bam. And that 53.10, 53.20 should produce a response down here. And we're looking for a fractal trend line break and a close above the last shift down or push back to the upside. And I am hunting that. I do think we'll have good two-sided trading in CL today. So that means I have a double stop in. Why did I do that? That's the only reason why that's up there. There we go. Gone. And remember to look for the shift down on ES, right? Last shift down. There's no fractal trend line break on this. We're looking for a shift down or something to give us a clue that, hey, things are about to change, right? Yeah, that's what I was getting confused on. I got it cleared up, Zach. Thank you. I need to move that chart over. Actually, I have that chart up right here. That's CL. That's GC. Got it. Shift down. Close above your last shift down. Again, we're 3 minutes in front of econ, so I got to wait till that's out of the way before I get uber aggressive on that. I still think you have a decent short somewhere in gold today. And we are behind the 62 retrace of the open drive higher and below the first 5 minutes. Bars on ES. Support I have at 27.37 to 27.33. And Q down 69. ES only down 7. CL up 31 cents. And here's your fractal. Here's your trend line. That's a reversal, shift down, double shifts down, same location. Fractal up, fractal down. And then the other thing I wrote in my journal this morning on gold, the simple process was get above or below the wave and use that entry. Use the wave as the entry. And so now I'm advancing that and trying to use the shifts up and shifts down, and that may not be successful, right? So from what I can tell, we're still to get below. We have failed to get below any kind of meaningful wave to the upside on gold. No shift down over here on ES. We don't have to have the shift down. We do have divergence into the lows, but it'd be nice to get the shift down and then close above it. distraction for right now. I'm going to lower it off. No shift down on ES. Say push, crush them into the bottoms of those areas. Potential little spring there as it broke underneath the consolidation there. I don't have a shift down or anything to work off of. If anyone else does, let me know. And I'm watching CL. Get more aggressive on that fractal trend line. Last shift down. Just keeping up with it. Last wave down. Top of it. Which coincides with getting above that shift down, by the way. Shift down. And 100 on NQ. ES could do quite the job catching up. You normally will see it down 20 or 30 points. Like I said, I think we'll do on NQ. I would think you'd see a down 200 day, down 300 day to wash them out. I'm not trading it. That's what I think. Hey, Derek. Good morning. Welcome. Goes above your last shift down. I'll be long CL. What is that number? 68, 69, 68. Limit 53.69 for a long on CL. Stop will be 53.54. No fill yet. Long 53.69. Stop 53.54. Again, fast markets, but I'm kind of comfortable with that. Last three down. That's three across. That gets you both above the last shift down. Yeah, I think that's good to go. First scale on that is going to be 53.79. I actually like to add on the backside test to this. So that's a double-edged sword, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Same stop. So let's just call it 53.64 to add, or 63. I'm already sitting there at 53.63, so if they sweep me, they sweep me. Got it. Don't know if I want it, but I've got it. That brings me around 65 cents on this position. So first scale goes to 53.75. Close above this wave, gets you above your last shift down for push back up. And again, manage the trade to your own risk. I'm already at 75 cents. Nothing done so far. The other choice is you can scale and just move your stop back. Want to go earlier? I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. No fill 75. No fill. Partial fill, filled. Now you can choose to move your stop to break even. All right, I would actually just have it underneath this last shift up right here at 68 cents. I'd bring it to that 62 cents, basically my stop, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Stop goes to 61 cents on that trade, or you can just take it out if you don't trust the volatility in the market today. Another option. Okay, so scales up, risks off. And that's nice. And then manage as you want. I'm going to try and trail it up. Stops at 61 cents. Crossing my fingers, all that good stuff. We close above the top of this wave here, guys. Damn, I'm going to miss my GC trade. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm good there still. Not a green bar with a close above this last wave down. First close and second close, you got to kind of choose your poisons, right? I'm taking another scale here at 53.83. Again, I'm not trying to knock the ball off the cover this morning. So that's done. I'm down to quarter size from what was a little bit over a full size trade. Anyone else get paid on that? Get paid, guys. I do not know the market's going straight up today. Right? Joyce, I'm talking to you specifically. Scale, please. Make sure you're getting paid. That's the whole objective while you're learning, right? Is to make sure you're putting money in your pocket. I know I'm doing it. 53.91, guys. That was pretty straightforward. Almost 30 cents on average, I think. But my math's off, so y'all figure that part out. I'm going flat right here. 91 cents. Took all of it. Not trying to be a hero. Did anyone get paid? Joyce, anybody? Yes, good deal. I'm all out. I'm all flat. No trade there. First close above, right? So this is the first close above. So look how this is setting up. First close above the last shift down. So if you can hold your low above this, right, or really above this point of control, I would say 27.43. So you have a 46 3/4 against a 27.43 long, potentially to push you back to 54. I'm going to wait. I'd rather kind of get the last shift down right at the bottom. But that's a potential spring on that setup on ES. I may miss it. Up trade is sugar on top for me. Shift up, and that's the first close above with the point of control above the last down wave. That should push. I'm going to kind of chill on it for right now because I wanted that push to be deeper for some reason. I don't like taking it 10 off the low already this morning. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'll wait. I am looking for a close underneath the last shift up on GC. I am beating a dead horse with that thing, but I'm only beating it with 10 contracts. Okay, so it's not set up is what I'm saying. So keep drawing it out. Here's your fractal trend line break. We're nowhere close on that. And on GC, 1 minute head and shoulders actually over here. If I get closed underneath this bar, I will attempt a short. I'll use these points of control right here as my stop. But I'd really like to see how you got this push right on top and they couldn't break a new high, right? So I'd like to see it get underneath there and trap these people, but shit, who knows? I mean, if the market tanks today, gold will run. There's no question about it. The environment for day trading can be so brutal. It's like operating in outer space sometimes. On CL, the top of the biggest wave Okay, so we have some interesting things. See how you have that big push up and it's been matched by that big push down? Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, if we get underneath this big push down, where is it? Okay, watch out if we get underneath this big push down now. Okay, just like, okay, so structure's changed a little bit. Fractal trend line, last push up, base of last push up, first close underneath, second close back in. So this would technically be a second close underneath the last push up. Bottom of wave, top of wave. So in order to break free, our big number for it to fall apart to the downside is about 52.90. Okay. This was obviously just tapping back into the top of the wave, rejection, rejection, tap back in, biggest wave down. What would release us to test the bottom of this wave would be a close underneath 53.50 should open us up to test 52.90, basically. Right? Close underneath 53.50 should open us up for 52.90. The close above 54.40 opens us up for our next leg up. Okay. So you should have those numbers written down. I have this chart off to the side. Still need another freaking monitor, but that's all right. It's enough right now. For fractal trendline break, notice we didn't get a shift up, so I'm really not looking for a short up here at all. Right, we need a shift up to top them off on top. Same thing down here. See how you're just getting above, and this is just consolidating above, right at the top of this wave, form another cup and handle, right? So I would say if you get a close above this last shift down right here, right, look for another leg up into 27.52. Would be my thought. First bar with the point of control above, you have to use this as your stop, even if you have to cut size back. About 45.50 needs to be your stop on this. So you'd end up with a 4-point stop. That means you cut size back or look for a backside test. That should launch you of that cup and handle. I will give that a shot. 49.75. I'm going to find my dome. I missed it. I didn't get to the dome in time for a limit order in. I'll try it on the backside at 49.50. I'm limit there right now. Got 49.50. Stopping 4 points, so that puts me at 45.50. That should push us up into this 52, 56 area. And no trade has to work beautifully, and I could be trapping myself, right? So if you're not comfortable where the trade would have set up better on a push to the low, okay, this whole setup, get this same setup at a push to the low, a lot better than taking it up here on a potential balanced day, right? And especially where we're going to have a lot of news and econ. So I'm looking for 2-point scales and then trails. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping it all works out. You can scale earlier if you want. I have no idea what they're going to do today. Anyone who pretends like they do is full of shit anyways. I just thought we would push up. I thought we had a lot of bears trapped, which is why I'm looking for the short. There's 51.50. So that's 2 points right there. All right, scale. And I'm moving stop to break even. Didn't even get that? Randy, anyone take that? That's pretty straightforward. Hey, Daniel, good to have you in the room, brother. Again, I don't think that was a prime. I think the best setup would have been to get a shift down over here, right, and roll. They just didn't give it to us. My next scale is going to be 54.50 or stop on the trade at break even. If they would push up significantly, we could have a great short off the highs. Like what should happen if we've had a shift in mentality in the market, guys, is that the shifts up should go into consolidation like that 10 to 11 a.m., 11:30, and then roll over in the afternoon and set up nice shorts. It's a lot better than when they just reverse off the open, right? It gives us time to set them up later in the day. Yeah, almost 4 points on the trade at 53.50 if we'll tag there. We got a cross and divergence up here on ES. So it's getting tired. The only reason I say this is to make sure everyone's who wants a scale has taken a scale. My next up is 54s. $54 and $54.25 done. I got one more 54.50 and that's done right there too. So I got a quarter left on the trade, quarter of the size left. And they'll either stop me or this thing's going to run like a banshee. I don't know which one it's going to do. I'm happy either way. Does everyone understand the setup? Does anyone need me to cover it again in the room? Randy, did you get paid? Oh, okay. No problem. So, Randy, we've been trending up all night on ES. Obviously, we opened up, and this was all econ right through here. So, if you look at the bigger picture, right, so first, that's a 50-60 back in. And I was hoping for a shift down into that. So, they tried to break behind the 50-60. That's the last shift down right there, fractal shift down, right? So, see how that's the top of the shift down. That's the first close above. Grinder, right? I think you need your stop to be behind this bar. If you took that, grind, 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 shift down, close above the last shift down. I missed it by like a split second, if I have my memory correct. It's right here. It went to 50, and I entered 49 and change. 49.50, I think, was my entry. Okay. And then I scaled 2 points. So that was 51.50. And then I let it push up, and 54, I took out the rest of the trade. But also, that was above the last wave down, right? So this is the top of the wave. That's the first bar that closed above, right? Make sense? That's exactly what we covered in coaching. Thanks. So that should just click for you. Like, all you have to decide is whether you're willing to lose money on the setup, but it's a good setup. Yeah, I know you do. It produces some really nice trades. Really, really nice trades. I guess I should have held that CL. Oh, well. Live and learn. Shift up right at the high on GC on a 1 range. Of course, I may be just freaking just banging my head trying to find a short that doesn't exist, but that's all right. I'm sure Danielson, they're shaking his head just going, I've taught this man nothing. We're above the anomaly. By the way, on GC, there's a long way to roll until the next untested anomaly, all the way up here at 1334. So really, ideally, we get back underneath 1322 before I press the short. But otherwise, 1333 is your target up, another 10 points. But I've had a pretty monster morning, early morning day on CL already. And I'm tired enough that I'm about to punch out of the remainder of this ES. As a matter of fact, done. 58.50 is what I'm taking. And 58.25, I'll just mark it, close it. It took everything, 58.50 and 58.75, done. That's close enough for hand grenades for me. That's a great day on ES. I will be short GC. I will attempt it again. Yes, I am banging my head against this thing. 13.22.30 to start the position, and then a backside test back up into 13.23 I will add. So 13.22.20. I am limiting there to sell. Let me get to my... I am limit 13.22.20 to sell gold. And if it continues to trend up today, I will have my ass thoroughly handed to me. It has not broken a wave, so I'm giving you the disclaimers. All this is on is a potential fractal trend line break, has not broken a wave. It just set a new high on delta divergence, but not on MACD divergence, right? And this is my last shift up. I'm really just playing this shift up, close below on a speed bar, shift down. I'm telling you, I've had my ass handed to me today. You see, if I'd been full size, it had wiped out all my profits. Well, no, that's not true. 10, 20, it would not. I have 20, 40, 60, 80, almost 90 ticks in CL. It would have taken away 30 of the 90 ticks I had if I was trading them equal. So that would suck, right? So I'm not trading them equal. I'm much smaller, and I'm trying to get an idea to work to see if I can make it work. And I may just be The concept may not work in gold. It may just work in oil and ES and not work in gold, but that's fine. I'm okay with that, right? Really, your stop needs to go back on top, and you could get pipped for a stop right there. So the reason I'm going through all the disclaimers is trade one contract and you're new to gold, don't trade it, right? Let me get my ass kicked. That'd be the invitation, right? Learn, 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 right? Because this thing is just grinding every short in the world to death, okay? And paying every long is just like, woohoo, finally. And looks like I kicked ES a little bit early, along with CL. But I'm all right with that. Pretty sure we get set up on the short side. No fractals to set up a short on ES. Here's your new fractal trend line on and I will probably attempt that underneath that last shift up to the downside. Let me look at the chart. We are an anomaly. It's a blue anomaly, so I think you get traded through pretty easily. Hell, this chart just locked up. Chart. Yeah, thank you. There we go. I can move it around. Figure out away from that. I don't know what's hanging that up. Get underneath the last shift down there. Shift up. Break the fractal trend line. Down she goes. That's going to be what I'm going to target on that trade. I'll take it if I see it. That limit now is at 1322.40. Moving it up 2 ticks. 1322.40 on GC for the short. Stop will be high of day. Size is small. Insanity high on that particular product for me right now because it's going straight up. And I'm above the anomaly. I'm going to have to get that underneath 1322 for it to roll. It's coming right off the top of the anomaly. So I'd say on a 0 to 10, this is about a 4 in terms of quality of trade. And CL doesn't mean jack unless it gets underneath that shift up. All that is trapping shorts you are looking for it to roll down still. So let them trap. Let's see something here real quick. There we go. That looks right. Up, last shift up, right here. Right here's your new fractal trend line. Close underneath your last shift up. I will attempt this right here at 53. Damn, I can't see it. I'm sure I missed it. Son of a gun. I'll try for a backside into 53.90. See if I can get 92 cents. Got 92 cents. Stop on that will be $54.06. $54.06. Right. And I still need it to close underneath. So that's close one underneath. Last wave up. Nope, not there yet. It's got to break that. Okay, so I'm hoping for a break of 53.85, and I don't know that I will actually get it, right? Because things aren't falling apart. So keep that in mind. It's fractal trend line break, but it's not a break of the wave. I got to get underneath this 53.85. So the idea would be that you're taking this in anticipation of breaking that wave. So if it doesn't break, it's going to snap right back in. Just how it is. Let's go. Break, 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 break. Taking a small scale here because I'm likely to get slack back. 81.82. Sorry, moving fast. 81.82 scaled. They filled me on the whole thing on the backside test. And I'm leaving I'm using the scale to pay for the stop. Okay, 54.05, 54.06 is where the stop is sitting. And I'm hoping for a close underneath here and a roll to retest down lower. I'm not sure about that because we've had so many down days. Okay. Yes. You got to get below 27.52 or you got no short. I'm on hold on that. And I'm pulling my GC short for now because I have to go upstairs and refill my coffee. So I'll be right back, guys. If anyone's in that CL trade, you got that shift down. I drag your stop right above this level right here, which is exactly what I'm doing. Drag your stop right over here. So that's 53.91 roughly. And hope. I'm sorry your son got sick. I had that yesterday, Randy, as you know. It's no fun. Slow grind up on ES now. And that's 30 points off the low. You don't get that opportunity very often in ES, but I chose oil over ES. They have parallel fractals on GC now. Again, I don't know how much that means in this environment. And a shift up. So again, I'm just in a learning mode there. But I would think underneath 1322 and 1323.30, right? We keep grinding up, that's going to get smacked. It would be my guess. I don't know. Parallel fractals, fractal trend line, different fractal trend line. This time we go with the wider one. All right, last shift up, parallel fractals right there, break. And you'd have to break this. So it all kind of lines up all in the same place. And then conceptually it can go down. Realistically, who knows? I'm going to close my CL out here on that shift down right there at 53.72. I'm just going to finish this off. I already closed it in one account. Why did I do that? I had it in my account, but I closed it in the other account. Why? Okay. Anyways, that's that. I am not bearish on CL down this much. If it sets up late in the day for a swan dive, that's fine, but till then, so ES, fractal trend line. There you go, last shift up. I will attempt the short on a close underneath 27.60. Stop 1 point above this shift up, 1 point behind this shift up. Okay. So that is roughly 63. And just to keep up with the Joneses, we are circulating around a blue anomaly, right? We're inside Friday's low, but below Friday's high. Okay, and we have this anomaly. It's pretty much the middle of the range, as you can tell from Friday. And we went back and forth a lot on that 62, 64. If you remember, I actually got stopped once or twice, maybe even 3 times in this area, trying to set up the roll to the downside. Okay, so if we look back to that area, all right, just do day session. So this was that chop fest from Friday, all right? And this is the base of that chop fest. Okay, so anyway, I will take the trade. I will not take stop after stop on this thing, just FYI. Shift up. I need a point of control underneath. So 27.59 is my short. Stop will be 1 point behind, so 63. 59 for 63, 4 points, sized correctly. Is that right? That's right. They hit that 59. So I'm short. 27.59 against 27.63. We have divergence into the high. right? Price is rising, MACD falling. We have a cross, last shift up. Here's the last wave. I have the first close underneath. Now I'm hoping for the second close underneath. Right, so I'm reduced size because the stop usually I try, we've been getting these on 2 points, the range expanded. So I've adjusted size to account for the stop. Okay. And I will try to add if they'll press back in for the last shift up, right at this point of control. So at 27, 60, 75, I will add. 27, 60, 75, I will add to this trade. I'm already limit there. Scales are 2 points until I'm down to quarter size. So 57 is my first scale. And I'm already in there at 57. I'm limit 57. That's what I'm trying to say. One tick away. 2 ticks away now. Again, manage the risk. That's within 1 tick of that scale, right? So manage the risk. It still can come back and backside test this. I'll still add on the backside test, specifically 60.50 and 60.75 is where we'll add to this trade, right? So you manage to where your risk meet. Okay, there's nothing that says the market has to go down today or even stay or even retest anything lower. We could grind all day. London close in 40 minutes. Remember, we have a Fed speaker. What time's our Fed speaker, guys? Bullard. Is that his name correctly? $12.25. I'm still at 57 for scale. And I guess I covered CL a little early, but I can live with that. I need a different CL chart to keep up with this. Nothing on GC yet. It's still, she climbs. And 60.50 and 60.75, I have limits in, right, on 63 stops. And if you want to put your stop behind the high of the day, that's fine. But odds are if it gets to 63, it's going to pop that high of the day. In the next 7 minutes, expect algos. And London close on CL when it's volatile like this can be pretty hectic, just FYI, meaning whippy and fast. Nothing doing on the 60, 50, 60, 75. But I would have liked it. Just keeping up on the CL. Fractal trend line. Last shift down. Heads up above the 53.73 for a push back up. I'll be looking for that long, by the way. I have too much shit going on this chart. So let me think it through. Cross, MACD. I'd watch out on the shorts now. You've got the cross back up. You get above this, I would drag your stops down to 75 cents. Right? 76 cents, something in that neighborhood. If you're still short. Underneath this wave was a short. I missed it. 7:41 a.m. Look at that. Shift up, close underneath. Bye-bye. Another 70 ticks available. I didn't take it. So now, here's the biggest push down off the top, back into the lows. And this big push down isn't breaking the lows. So watch for the close above, back above this fractal and this shift down, right, which again is 53.71. The push back up to 54.50. Like I said, I think we'll have balanced markets today, so that's logical, right? 60.50 got filled. 60.75 is pending. So ads at 60.50 and 60.75 is done as well. 63 is the stop. So damn, 4 minutes right before the top of the hour. Lord help me, because that's where algos can come and just screw you. But I'm in the trade, and y'all know I will take the stop or the win. So that brings it closer to a 3.5 point stop, by the way. Or 3. And I'll be damned. Are they going to do it right here? There's the last shift down. Right in front of freaking top of the hour algos. Crap. It already went, guys. Sorry, I was paying attention to one and I missed it. It just triggered. I will attempt a backside test to 53.75 for a long against, let's call that 63 cents. 53.75 for a long against 63 cents. I need to clear above this, and I have no fill. Too close to the 10 a.m. I'm pulling the CL order, staying with the ES, but I'm pulling CL. It's too close. I've gotten too many stops right in that 2 minutes. I'll wait and try to get set up again. I don't have to trade by those algos. I'm already kind of stuck in. I am stuck in ES, but I don't have to get clocked on the CL algos at the top of the hour. I may already pay for it in ES as is, but that's all right. That's fractal trendline break. Last shift up. Backside test. You see that 100 times, you get paid on it most of the time. So yeah, I'm willing to get punished on that. And damn you, NQ. It did come back to that 75 cents and then popped it. That's all right. I stopped some danger. Oh, yes. So then a point and a half, that's enough for a little whip just to grab it and pop it. Uh, Interesting. How big is that push up? Push up, can't break the last swing. Speed bar down. Close underneath here. I will attempt to short again on. Damn, I'm starting to take a lot of CL trades. I'm going to pass because I've taken too many trades, but that's a good setup. That shift up, biggest wave. We now close underneath that, and that will send you back to retest the 5220 right there. I'm going to pass on taking the trade here unless I get stopped out of the ES, and I'll reload it. But I've got enough risk on going into London close. Notice they never closed underneath the last shift up here. So we'll see. I may be screwed on the ES trade. I wanted it to fall away pretty quickly, and it didn't. I mean, it won't work, and you know I won't move my stop. But I wanted it to work better than it has. I thought we'd have more up and down, give and go. This will encourage, this will force, if we stay slow like this, it forces shorts in, right? So not what I want, just a fact of life. So we need them to break here into London close, hopefully. And I'll wait on gold until after London close. But hey, now we're looking okay. So look at that. So I'm dancing with ES, not with CL right now. And they stay below the magical 63 for now. I will take a short at 123.20 on GC, and that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a sideshow. I'm trying to figure out what the rhythm is there. I'm not underneath the wave. It's a 4 out of a 10 in terms of scoring it for quality of a trade. 4 out of a 10, and there's no chance it'll get filled right now. Or maybe it will. The problem with the GC short is if ES tanks, GC will roll up. So, yeah, there's that. So again, this is 10 cars, not a full-size trade. Come on, break ES's back. Talk about conflicting positions. You can't be short both and hope that they'll work out. MQ is still down 42 points. ES is positive on the day. So that doesn't jive. Part of that, by the way, is the Google deal, is why NQ's down, or Alphabet, whatever they want to call it. The Justice Department opened an investigation, antitrust investigation, I think, into them. There we go. They're looking for 57. So y'all can cover as necessary, especially if you add it up there at the 60, 50, 60, 75. You now have 2 points. You can scale off of that. Okay. Anyone in the trade besides me? I'm definitely in the trade. Randy, you got this? $57.50. I'm looking for 57. Come on. Second time down. You should sweep. Shorty, yes. Good job. Don't forget to scale. They're not. I missed 57 again. Going to take some off at 58 if they'll let me fill. I'm going to the 60s and 60 and a quarters, and I've gotten filled on the 58s. Okay, so I just have the original trade still now. Sorry, I moved the exit up pretty quickly there. No fill on GC, and I'm pulling that order for now. And bye-bye on, I didn't get 57 because I moved the order, so it's 58. That's good. And you can choose to move the stop to break even, net break even, or leave the stop where it's at. I'm bringing mine to net break even, and I'm going to try and hold. I'm going to bring my stop to right here at 61.50, right behind this last shift down. Okay. So it'll be profitable. It won't be massively profitable, obviously. This is the kind of trading I like. I am good at this stuff. Just back and forth. Give me stuff. I'll take it all day long. ES, CL. I'm sure I'm going to hit a brick wall here soon, guys. I've been going since basically 2:30, 2:45 this morning. So why that's important, if you hear me talking like an idiot beyond the normal idiot that I am, right, with trades, or you see me really just starting to slam around trades with size and take weird entries, don't follow me, right? Go, man, the guy's freaking delirious, and leave it alone. It's a big danger when you're tired and you're trading. Big. So guys on YouTube, I think that's pretty clear demonstration of what we can do in the room. If you'd like to join us, send an email. TRADENPERFORM@gmail.com, TRADENPERFORM @gmail.com. I'll be happy to extend you a pass to the room. And trade safe. Not an easy business. So make sure you use stops, manage risk, and know what you're looking for. Have a great day, guys. Thank y'all for joining us.